welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Kyla, and in this video we're going to be doing the end of the year book tag. Still cannot believe we are like almost at the end of the year. I do not know what has happened. Time literally, like we're in some sort of loop. I'm convinced. I have no idea. Time has literally flown. I don't know if you feel that way, but I definitely do. So I feel like this is the perfect time to do this tag and talk about all the books that I still want to read for the rest of the year, things that I'm excited for, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Also, normally I would tag the original creator below, but I cannot find who it was, so my apologies there. But yeah, let's just go ahead and dive into the questions. Got my phone here. Question number 1 is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And yes and no. I am not one to start a book and then pick it up later on. Like if I'm going to read a book, I'm going to read it in a single setting, or I'm going to DNF it or whatever. So there are some books that I thought maybe I would go back to on my DNF list, but after looking at it, I'm just not in the mood for any of them. I did start a few series this year, like the Wayward Children series, the Nevermore series, Thursday Murder Club, Veronica Speedwell. So I'm in the middle of a few different series, but I don't think I'm gonna get a chance to finish them by the end of the year because I'm still like, with some of them, I still have books upon books left in them. So I don't have any singular books that I started and haven't finished, but I am in the middle of a few series, but I don't think I'm gonna get a chance to finish them before the end of the year. Maybe pick up the next book before the end of the year. Like I feel like December is a really good time to read the Thursday Murder Club series. There's just something so cozy about it. So I might pick up the next one in that, but other than that, I'm not going to end up finishing them, and that's okay. Question number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And I have 2 answers for this. The first one is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Something about this just screams, read this time of year. I don't know why, because I actually don't know too much about this book, but I just feel like it is the perfect time and the perfect vibes to read something like this. Love fantasy this time of year. I feel like the fall is definitely like my fantasy time. I don't know, I just love it, especially if it's cozy, but even if it's not, I just love a bit of adventure this time of year, a bit of magic, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be everything that I wish The Night Circus was. So that's my first answer. And then also I have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is a dark academia YA series, and I have not read in the series before. This is book 1, and I do glare here from the library covering, but I do plan on reading this before the end of the year. I would love to start the series. I actually have a whole like dark academia vlog planned, so I have a couple of other books that I'm also really looking forward to, but I feel like these are perfect and like give me this time of year and like the perfect way to end the year with reading books that I'm just like truly excited about and just scream me. Ask me why they give me autumnal vibes. I'm not really sure. I mean, this one, dark academia, I just feel like, you know, with back to school and that kind of thing, it definitely feels like that, but I don't know, they just give me the perfect vibe, and I just cannot wait to get to both of these. So yeah, that is my answer for that. Question number 3 is there a new release you're still waiting for? And oh, is there ever? I have a few on this list. At the time of filming this, Iron Flame and Bookshops and Bone Dust are like tippity top of the list. They come out in a couple of days, so those are still very highly anticipated and ones that I will be reading pretty much immediately. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But there are a few others. I'm very much looking forward to Heartstopper Volume 5. I know that comes out in December sometime, so that is definitely on my most anticipated for the end of the year, as well as Ruthless Vows, which is the second to the Divine Rivals. Forget what the series is called. It's like Letters of Enchantment or something like that, but it's the second book in the series. It doesn't come out till the last week in December though, so I'll probably end up reading that in January. but still, I'm very much looking forward to it. And yeah, I would say those four are like the tippity top of the list. I mean, those first two, like I said, I'm screaming inside. And then the other two, I'm very much looking forward to them. Will I read them in December? I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. Question number 4 is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So obviously we've already talked about a few, so I wanted to throw out some other books that I'm still really looking forward to in these last couple of months. The first one is Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. What I understand about this one, it's another like dark kind of fairy tale novella, and very much like Nettle and Bone, which is sitting behind me, which I read earlier this year and absolutely loved. Thornhedge came out, I believe, in August, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. I do know it's super short, so it's something that I'll be able to read very quickly, but I still would love to get to it. I love T. Kingfisher's writing, and something about the cover just screams wintertime to me. I think it's all like the cool tone blues and whites. It just looks like snow to me. I don't even know if this book takes place in the wintertime, if it's a warm weather book because it came out in August. I have no idea, but it's giving winter vibes to me. So I feel like this is going to be the perfect read for that beginning of December time, because December's a weird reading month, you know? You don't want to necessarily have this massive TBR because of end of the year things, and you're trying to compile all your lists, and you don't want to necessarily read something that like is going to alter all of your end of the year list. And also it's cozy time. It's busy with the holidays and everything. So I feel like December's a really hard month for reading. So something like this, it's like a short little novella, perfect. I also have another new release that came out in October called All That Consumes Us. It's a YA dark academia. I'm obsessed with the cover of it. It is so cool. I love these like skeletal hands with the books and like the flowers and everything. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with it, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I would love to read this before the end of the year. I'm not sure if I'll get a chance to include it in my Dark Academia vlog because it just came out. I'm waiting for my library to come through, so I'm not sure if it'll be included, but I would love to get to it before the end of the year. Look, y'all are gonna laugh at me for this last one, and like that's fine. That is absolutely fine. You are more than welcome to take the myth out of me, because my last one on this list is Babel. I have been saying this for over a year now. I bought this last year when it came out, or like roughly when it came out, said I was gonna read it right away. I didn't. Here we are a year later. It is still sitting on my TBR shelf. It's actually in my TBR pile for this month, but I keep looking at it and I'm like, I'm not ready for you yet. I'm not ready for you yet. I don't know why I'm putting like such high expectations on this book, but I just feel like it's gonna be one that I'm either going to love or hate, and there's something about that like makes me still really want to read it, but also equally so nervous to read it. So I'm putting it on this list. Will this actually happen? I don't know, and if it doesn't, you can absolutely come for me. Please feel free. I am welcoming it at this point. So, yeah, I'm gonna put it on this list that I still would like to get to it before the end of the year. Honestly, I would love to take it off my TBR shelf. Like, love for that to happen, because it keeps just staring me in the face, and I'm like, I know, I see you. It's like that TikTok sound. So like, she can see us. Yeah, I can see you. Can you see me? It's like, yeah, I see you. I see you on my shelf. I know. So yeah, those are the books that I would like to get to before the end of the year. Next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? And I really was thinking about this from like my November TBR and the books that I'm still like anticipating or whatever, and I honestly do not think so. And that is saying something. I feel like my top books of the year are pretty solid right now. I mean, I've been going heavy on one since I read it, and then I do have like a number 2 and 3 that I'm pretty sure are already just like locked in. The only book that I could see swaying like my top 10 would be Bookshops and Bone Dust, because I loved Legends and Lattes so much that like I just am highly anticipating this. So I feel like that could probably like wiggle its way into my top like 10 or top 15 of the year. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna be doing for that, or how many I'm gonna include on that list, but regardless, I feel like that book could probably wiggle its way in. But the other ones I feel like would have to be like top tier for them to wiggle their way into like the top number 1 spot. I really don't see that happening, and that is saying something. Like, and I read my favorite book of the year back in like February, and still it has like held true throughout the entirety of 2023. I have other books that I absolutely love, of course, but this top one, I don't see anything shaking it. So unless I'm like absolutely mind blown, no, I don't see that happening, which is just crazy. I still can't believe that it's like, I like think about it sometimes and I'm like, is it still my favorite book? But like, no, it absolutely is. And I don't see anything shaking it whatsoever. And then the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? And yes and no. So I don't have like exact lists. I mean, obviously I have my ever-growing TBR, but I have already started compiling a list of 2024 releases that are coming out that I'm really looking forward to. So I started to kind of make plans around that. I also have some video ideas that I would really like to make next year, so I've already kind of started putting some thought into that. And like I mentioned before, Ruthless Vows comes out like the last week in December, so I'm already kind of anticipating that for a January read. So like I have little things in here, but I'm not like, this is my January TBR, this is my February TBR. I am an Enneagram 1 and like a complete type A, but I can't plan that far. Like that's just too much, because I still like to mood read. A lot of my TBRs, especially like my monthly TBRs, are mood reading TBRs. Even if they are around a video, I will try to be like, well, I really want to read fantasy this month, so like what kind of video can I make from that, as opposed to like, here are all these books, and like, anyways, you get it. So yes and no. I've started planning, but it's not like an exact science. Also, I'm starting to think about like, how many books do I want to read this year, but I'm not one to really care about that so much. I really just want to enjoy what I'm reading. So I'm not really like stuck to numbers in that sense. I know some people are, and I don't find anything wrong with that. But for me, I just feel like that puts a lot of pressure on reading, and like I like to push myself, but I don't necessarily see it as something that like has to be. I think I put my Goodreads goal this year for 120 books, and I far surpassed that, but I don't see the need to like increase that. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to stick with like the same reading plans in that sense of like numbers and that kind of thing. But yeah, I do have a list of books that I'm like really anticipating for 2024 already, which is just crazy. I freaking love it. I freaking love there's always something to look forward to. It truly just makes me so happy, and I thoroughly enjoy making all of these lists, compiling all of the data and like all of that. I love it. Like I said, Enneagram 1 type A, like a list. Are you kidding? Absolutely. But I'm not like super strict on myself. So yes and no is really my answer to that question. And that is it for the tag. Short, sweet, simple. I love that. I will put all of the questions in the description box in case you would like to make this video yourself, or you just want to pull some and answer them in the comments. I would honestly love that. I would really love for you to answer the question of what 3 books are you really wanting to read by the end of the year. I just feel like that really like encompasses this tag, so please let me know your answers for that in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you are not already. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
With you and I, the future is bright.